Genesis and Rebirth is something I believe will be core plot points to Final Fantasy XVI. That's right, this is a Final Fantasy XVI video. You clicked on 16. And it will draw from many inspirations, as Final Fantasy typically does, in regards to religion and mythology. This is all contrived from the mural seen at the end of the Ambition trailer, as well as the book, which I transcribed a page saying this, quote, "The savior myths of Valesthean oral tradition. First, that the world shall one day be remade by the hand of God incarnate." End quote. To begin, I do want to say that I went into this uneducated in the topic of Hindu religion and mythology. The following is a very loose explanation of cherry-picked key components that only serves to support my Final Fantasy XVI theories. Let's play a game of matching up Final Fantasy XVI with Hinduism. The hand of God incarnate in Final Fantasy XVI could be the Hindu god Vishnu. He is one of the Trimurti, the trinity of supreme divinity alongside Brahma and Shiva. Vishnu is reincarnated within 10 avatars known as the Dasha Avatara, otherwise known as the icons of Final Fantasy XVI. But 16 only has 9, so I'm going to exclude one incarnation of Vishnu and sub out a few others with important Hindu figures like the aforementioned Shiva. The first Dasha Avatara is Matsya, the fish who warns the first man of an upcoming flood that will destroy the world so it can be remade. Leviathan is the easy choice here for the icon. If this theory proves to be fruitful, I'd wager that the Leviathan was the first of the icons, and likely the reason why we have not seen its dominant or given much info outside of being shown in the mural. I also think that the narrator from the trailer could be Leviathan's dominant, and the one who knows of the prophecy that the world will be remade, and possibly knows that everything has already happened billions of years ago and this is just another cycle? What? More on that later. The next Dasha Avatara is Kurma, the world turtle, who supports the mountain that is used as a rod to churn the ocean of milk, which uncovers the nectar of immortality. This event is also an Earth creation story. Because Kurma bears the weight of a mountain, I'd relate him to the Final Fantasy XVI icon Titan. Let's talk about Varaha, the boar who defeats a powerful demon named Hiranyaksha, who had attempted to steal the Earth and take it to the bottom of the cosmic ocean in a battle that spanned 1,000 years. Varaha is said to bestow one with sovereignty, prosperity, and emancipation. Because of those three things, I guess I'll link Varaha to the icon Bahamut and its dominant, Dion of the Holy Empire of Sambrek. So thinking out loud here, Yoshi P said that Garuda's appearance and personality reflects its dominant, Benedicta. I wonder, does the icon choose someone who reflects what they stand for? Also, have previous iterations of the icons looked different in appearance due to the different dominant? Basically, would the previous Shiva look different because she wouldn't resemble Jill? She'd resemble a different dominant, right? Narasimha defeats the demon Hiranyaksha's brother Hiranyakshipu. This is the one I'll be excluding from the icon comparison, so let's move on to Vamana. Vamana is involved in another story of creation where he stakes his claims to the lands of the earth, heavens, and the space between with only 3 giant steps. I'd like to sub out Vamana with one of the Trimurti, who is also known as the god who destroys and transforms the universe, Shiva. That's right, we're doubling back. Let's talk about Shiva again. The Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, are gods of creation, preservation, and destruction, respectively. The 3 are of one purpose. The cycle relies on them. This makes them equal. Unsurprisingly, this means that Jill, the dominant of the icon Shiva, could play a big role in Final Fantasy XVI, and to add to that, in Hinduism, Vishnu and Shiva actually fight each other in a thousands of years battle because Vishnu offers a deal to Shiva that Shiva refused, and Vishnu ends up sending Garuda to kill all the snakes which means the king snake says, yo, wait a second, Shiva, can you please make that stop? And long story short, Shiva says, time to fight back against Vishnu. But hey, Garuda is involved. This is an interesting thing to think about for Final Fantasy XVI, if that is taken into consideration as an inspiration for the game. So, speaking of, I've replaced the Dasha Avatara Balarama with Garuda. Garuda is also Vishnu's devoted and faithful flying mount. In Final Fantasy XVI, Garuda could be begrudgingly forced to carry out a destiny that brings about the end of the world, which has her collide with Clive due to their similar goals. The next Dasha Avatara is Parasurama. Now, reading from the wiki, quote, the Kalki Paruna writes that he will re-emerge at the end of time to be the martial guru of Kalki. More on Kalki later, by the way. He will then instruct the final avatar to undertake penance to receive celestial weaponry required to save mankind during the end times, end quote. This particular description screams Final Fantasy to me, and the key word re-emerges sounds very Phoenix-like to me. Will Joshua die at the start of the game and return near the end to provide some guidance for Clive? Again, more on that later. Let's talk about Rama. I feel like I should have more to say on this, but he is the embodiment of chivalry and virtue. Let's just say Rama is Rama because the same sounding name, I guess. All right, moving on to Krishna. Before Krishna was born, his mother Devaki's brother Kamsa was warned that Devaki's 8th child would kill him, so he planned to kill Krishna at birth. The father quickly hid Krishna among the common people where he would grow up, gaining their favor as well as being a real looker for the ladies. The point of sharing this story with you is because that Barnabas, Odin's dominant, is said to be a titleless wanderer. This implies that his past will be of pretty big importance in Final Fantasy XVI. Barnabas has a fabled black blade, wearing dark armor with blue highlights, and is also seen emerging from a dark portal in the trailer. The iconography of Krishna is black, dark, and blue. The element of Odin in Final Fantasy XVI being dark. Now, we've made it to Kalki, the 10th and final Dasha Avatara. Kalki, the mighty warrior, prophesies to appear in order to end the Kali Yuga, one of the 4 periods in the cycle of existence, thus restarting back to the first age, the Satya Yuga. The Satya Yuga is known as the age of truth, when humanity is governed by gods, and every manifestation or work is pure, and goodness reigns supreme. Basically, with each world age thereafter, chaos begins to take over until the 4th age, which is the Kali Yuga, where strife and discord reigns supreme. The Kali Yuga is named after the demon of sin, Kali, who rules during that age, an age where Final Fantasy XVI will take place. If you consider how humanity is riddled with strife and discord and on the brink of all-out war, Kali is the nemesis of Kalki. And also, just look at Kali. He looks eerily similar to Ifrit. In the trailers, we see an Ifrit that has red eyes, and some descriptions refer to him as the Dark Icon. But we also see at the end of the Dominance trailer 2 Ifrits fighting each other. Also interesting to note here that the Kali was transported to the next Kali Yuga at the end of the last Kali Yuga, so this could explain why there are 2 Ifrits. The Dark Icon Ifrit is the previous cycle's Kali and has been asleep for billions of years, waiting for the next apocalypse. Awaken, Ifrit. This is where I believe that Clive is meant to be the Kalki of Final Fantasy XVI. He may be the dominant of the blue-eyed Ifrit. It could be his destiny to herald the hand of God incarnate to remake the world by gathering all the icons within himself. In conclusion, I wanted to make this theory video as a way to say that I think 16's lore is a cyclic nature of creation, destruction, and rebirth. The icons are either avatars or simply servants to the god of that world. Also, how are the dominants chosen is another question that I wish to further explore. But as a dominant, they seem to have free will even in the full transformation, but is that a false sense of control? Once the second icon of fire emerges, they all seem to go berserk, and that could be because the icons are really controlled by the god. And in the end times, which could be fast approaching in Final Fantasy XVI, the icons will come together to bring forth the hand of God incarnate to restart the cycle, just as it is prophesized in the Kali Yuga. But perhaps there is an unforeseen variable in Clive who will seek to put an end to the cycle and allow mankind to correct their course. Sounds like a Final Fantasy. Again, I think Hinduism is just one inspiration, definitely not meant to match up one to one. If this was just a fun thing to speculate on, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Take care now. Bye-bye then. Some research showed that Garuda was Krishna's mount to ride into battle. So, that tracks.